morning. Hi. Oh, it is bigger from up here. Okay. I'm Amy Spain Duncan. I am an alcoholic. Hey, guys. I am excited to be here at State Line. The weekend has been amazing, and so many of my friends and heroes are here, and I get emotional about that. My sobriety date is March 6, 2010, so you might be asking yourself, why is she there? I don't know. My sponsor says I get invited to make you all feel better about yourselves. So it won't take long, and you'll all square your shoulders back and go, well, we're not as bad as her. So, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to be of use in any way to the program that saved my life. So I've been tasked with Step 10, and it's crazy. I argued Step 10 for probably 3 or 4 years with my sponsor before. Well, there's so much to it, but the part that bothered me was that whenever I'm disturbed, something's wrong with me, not you. And I really couldn't wrap my head around that. I had every time, always. I suffer from justified anger. I suffer from righteousness. I suffer from an ego that says, I'm right, you're wrong, and this is how. And I like to explain it to you. And then I like to do things to punish you or help you, figure out what you're doing wrong so that you can fix that and I'll feel better. And Step 10 does not leave room for that. And, when I look at it, the continue. And if you're an alcoholic like me, I'm a sprinter. And Charlie talked about it, the velocity of the bullet. I'm a sprinter. When I get to you March 6th of 2010, I am badly mangled. I am beaten into a state of reasonableness. I am willing to do whatever you tell me to do because I'm out of ideas and I'm out of options, and there is a surrender to this beautiful program, to sponsorship, to the God idea. Like there's no more fight left in me. But what happens is the ego's always fighting to return. It's always looking for a hill to stand on, right? It's scanning the horizon for the next opportunity to be right. And I'm in battle with this at all times. And I love that it says, so if you're a sprinter and you've been invited to a marathon, you're doomed. How will I continue for a lifetime? A lifetime? And I understand why the tendency to rest on my laurels. I'm exhausted. I tell people all the time, getting sober is something I don't know if I have the strength for ever again. It is so much easier to stay sober. Getting sober was the hardest thing I ever did. I did not walk around on a pink cloud. I thought, this sucks. This is terrible. And the steps began to crack me open and show me parts of me I wasn't ready to digest. If you want to, and I love the speakers that have shared, and I love our communicators and Alcoholics Anonymous, and these are my heroes. I was raised on speaker tapes. I was raised on here, listen to this, put this in your car, play this while you're at home. And so the information of Alcoholics Anonymous could get into me because you're speaking a language I don't understand. It's a foreign language when I arrive, When I got here, it was the annihilation of all things worthwhile. I'm a low-bottom drunk. I didn't have sense to get off the ride, Alcohol, and Laura talked about it. This is the solution. This is the solution. I cannot connect the dots. I do not see how alcoholism and is destroying me. And I love Bob does a little deal on the bait and switch of Alcoholics Anonymous. Like, you got to quit drinking. Drinking is really messing you up, and you have allergic reaction, a mental obsession, alcohol. You got to put that booze down. And so you finally do. And they're like, you're going to need God. Oh, God. Oh. All right, yeah, let's go. And then they go, the problem's you. Yeah. Wait, you said it was alcohol. You said God would help me. You turned that now me? And I remember doing fifth step, and I didn't walk on the broad highway hand in hand with my Creator. I was devastated. I was like Laura. I was appalled. If I was wearing pearls, I would have clutched them. Me. Me? You know, I was stunned. And there it all was. And the importance of sponsorship to point those things out and help me to see that from an entirely different angle. So I went into 6 and 7 defeated. Because if that was me, and that's the best I got, I'm doomed. The humility of 6 and 7. This need for my Creator in a way I was not even aware of, and to a depth and a place in me that I didn't know existed. And my 7-step prayer wasn't beautiful. I'm a bully and I'm an intimidator, and I came in here with all this anger and false bravado and these masks like Laura. So my prayer was, fix this. MF blah, blah, blah. You fix this. You fix this. Or you take the breath out of my body. How dare you let something like me walk around? You fix this. And I needed God. And He came. And I was happy to do amends. I'm exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted. I'm still healing. I'm a low-bottom drunk. I lived on the streets for 4 years. I still don't have teeth. I'm tired. I came in 30 pounds underweight with my hair falling out and this little thing that I would do. Alex and I talk about it all the time. My friend Alex, you know, God's kind of a show-off. He really is. So, you know, if you take someone lovely and you move them 3 degrees to the left, it's like, it's a neat party trick. But you take somebody like me, now people are like, oh, God's powerful. That was pretty impressive. That program works, you know. And that's me. I came in there this way, and I lived at a homeless shelter for the first year. I got my clothes from donations, where beautiful women like you would clean out your closet and take them to shelters for women like me. Thank you. I got a haircut for the first time at that homeless shelter. I didn't have anywhere else to go, and I was out of ideas. The gift of desperation. It's exhausting. It's important, and you need it. But I'm a sprinter, right? And you hand me this book, and you say everything you need to know is in this book. So I'm very serious too, which is crazy because I'm an idiot, and so I'm kind of like Kramer, you know, from Seinfeld. I was Russian, and I trip over things. I don't know. Wind her up. Let's see what she's gonna do today. But I got this book, and I'm desperate, and I'm underlining, and I'm highlighting, and I'm studying with the desperation of a drowning man. You're my last hope. And if this doesn't work, what happens to a girl like me? And I'm in it, and I'm reading, and I'm memorizing, and I'm quoting, and I sit up front, and I thank the speaker, and I put my chair away, and I show up early, and I stay late, and I'm trying to understand the rules and the language. And I love one of the speakers saying, you guys laugh all the time, and I don't get the joke. But I wanna. But I'm desperate, and I'm angry, and nothing's funny. And over time, it begins to soften. And over time, I began to breathe a little deeper. You know, and I seem to always be wrong. You know, the sponsor, like, yeah, that's dumb. I'm like, God dang it. Really worked on that one. I thought that was a good one. You know, and you present them, and your sponsor's like, yeah, no, dumb. God dang it. I can't get it right. I can't get it right. I get out to make those amends, and I'm so happy. I finally feel a little joy, and I run back to my sponsor. Said, how'd it go? It was amazing. They said, we just want you well, Mom. We just want you to keep doing what you're doing, Mom. Just stay sober. It was amazing. She goes, oh, those are the hard ones. I said, the hard ones? She said, did they say for how long? Step 10, continue, continue, continue. See, when I made those amends, I meant them. With all the desperation I could muster, how do I make this right with you? Children who I've harmed, who I love, who I adore. Alcoholism stole motherhood from me. And I got this chance, and I can be your mom, and I want to, please let me. How can I make this right? Keep doing what you're doing. And they didn't say for how long. I'm tired. I know why we rest on our laurels. I think I said to my sponsor one time, can we get the foot off my neck for a while? Can we work on anyone else? Anyone. Pick somebody. I am exhausted. I am so tired of the ways I need to improve and the ways I'm wrong and what I need to do. And the inventory of me, the going to God, here I am. I thought you were going to fix this. Here it is, my greed, my envy, my sloth. Here it is, my character defects and shortcomings. Here it is, the bullying and the intimidation. When are you going to get busy on this? I mean, it's hurting folks. You ought to do something. And the amends and the amends and the amends, and I'm tired. I'm tired. The marathon. And I'm in the sprint. What keeps me in the marathon is the gift of desperation. What keeps me doing this is because even when it's uncomfortable, I know it will lead to good. I've developed a faith. The things you said, the actions that don't make sense are starting to make sense. I can see a path forward. You look happy. I want to be happy. I'll do what you do, right? That makes sense. And so I have this willingness to continue this part, to continue in this step 10 work. The 12 and 12 really kind of gets you in the weeds on step 10, but I do like that it talks about the assets, right? I love that in step 7, they give me a space of grace where I get to acknowledge the good and the bad, the good. Because my self-esteem and my self-pity and my obsession with self is so extreme, right? I'll go into morbid reflection. I go into self-pity. I become Eeyore. It'll never be okay, right? I lose hope. But I get to look at these assets, and my dad died with 30 years sober in this program, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that my father found you, and I got my daddy back. And I'm so grateful that he was there at his post when I needed Alcoholics Anonymous, and he shared the love that he had for you and the miracle of his life. And so it was an easy fit. It was an easy transition. I always liked Alcoholics Anonymous. I think you're funny. I think you smell good. I think we're better looking than most. I think we're smart. We have a good time. We're good time folks. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. And I got that from my dad. And I'm grateful. And Dad used to say, in his opinion, I'm sure other people have other opinions, but don't argue with me. This was just my dad. He's dead now. You can't even argue with him. But he said one of the most important words in our literature was continue. And when we cease to continue, we cease to be here. It's imperative that I stay in this race, moving a little bit. So I'm 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but I persist. And I continue to move in this place of step 10. The understanding and effectiveness, we have give time. So my sponsor is saying, Rachel says it all the time, give time. I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to begin to practice this way of life. Now remember, I described to you my first year of sobriety, my state, my mental state, my physical state, my material state, the spiritual sickness I was trying to recover from, and I'm cramming all this in with urgency. I'm moving through the steps. I'm trying to learn how to move in Alcoholics Anonymous, because not only do I need to learn all of this, I have to know what it looks like to be a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm learning AA etiquette. I'm learning how we behave in meetings, how we share in meetings, how we move in meetings, what your sponsorship does, what Alcoholics is and what Alcoholics Anonymous isn't. And I'm in school, right? And I'm trying to get all this stuff in, but this place where I'm going to grow in effectiveness and understanding, this is over time. I mean, think about it. Think about even this weekend, hearing me up here with a sobriety date of 2010 and hearing our beautiful members with sobriety dates in the 70s and 80s. And it's a different language. It's a different tone. They're moving differently because it's happening. It's happening. My dad used to say the only comparison I can make in Alcoholics Anonymous is the comparison to the woman who showed up here March 6, 2010. And if I'm doing better than her, then this thing's working. Yeah, and I should stay here. It's working, right? So if you're in this deal where you're looking at this guy or that guy or this girl and that girl, and you're in the envy and the jealousy and the self-pity and why not me and when will I get it and why is it's all wrong, just know, think about the condition in which you arrived. Is it better than that? Is your life better than that, guys? Then this thing's working. We get better. I was effective, not understanding. And my effectiveness was kind of a do it before I hit you in the face effectiveness. So my home group said that I 12 stomped women. That's from my friend Tim H. He's in my home group. If you walked up to me after the home group meeting and said, will you sponsor me? Timmy and a few others would get behind me and go, pick someone else. I was constantly calling my sponsor going, they're crying. They're crying. So what'd you say? I just told them the truth. I care more about their life than their feelings. Delinda told me that truth without compassion is just mean. And I was being mean to broken women. See, I can't transmit what I don't have. That's my problem. I can give you the information. I'll beat you to death with the big book. I can weaponize this guy. Yeah, the book tells me on to the next one. Yeah. That's lovely. What I love, I read ahead when I was sitting in the homeless shelter. I was with my friend Amber E. and we were reading. I like to read ahead. I'm a good student, and you gave me the manual to life, and I'm reading ahead, and I get to that line that says, love and tolerance of others is our code. And I looked at Amber and I said, I'm screwed. It's their code. Like, I got none of that. I got zero. I thought I had to have this to be here. I couldn't imagine a place with the magic of Alcoholics Anonymous, this power of God, the love of you would shift something in me, and something would be created that didn't exist before. And that's what you've done. Alex and I talk about if somebody nice is nice, where's the big deal? But if someone who has no love, no tolerance, no compassion, suddenly shifts and begins to act as if, Don Majors, and we love Don in Louisville, everyone knows that. To give your entire attention, love, and what is it, Rach? Interest. Your entire love, interest, and attention to the person in front of you. Do you know what kind of skill that is? I mean, I got the outside issues, right? My brain's darting. I'm thinking, when will he shut up? What's going on over there? Is something in my shoe? What did I, right? And my brain, attention, interest, and love. This guy, right? It's a spiritual exercise. These muscles that I've never used before, I'm going to start using. I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to watch your stride. I'm going to watch your pace. I'm going to watch how you do it. Back home, we have a guy in our home group that says Alcoholics Anonymous is a copycat program. You just better watch what cat you're copying. And I'm fortunate enough I can stand here and tell you that God has given me his best. And if you think about your own life, and we've heard it here from the podium, the old-timers, the people that were here, the people that took time out of their life to help a girl like me or a guy like you, God gave us his best. We're right here. The next part of step 10 that I really struggle with is we ceased fighting anyone or anything. I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense at all. And Laura talked about, I love that 6, 7, there's so much going on in 10 that's part of 7. Who's going to keep little Amy safe if I put my dukes down? If I don't watch you and plan and see where this is going and what you're about to do, how am I going to do that? I did a lot of outside things. I drink. I'm a drunk. I have an allergic reaction and that creates a phenomenon, a craving in me, and a mental obsession. I am an alcoholic, garden variety drunk. My alcoholism led me to a lot of things, and one of them were some substances that kept me up a long time, paying attention. So I can see what's coming. And he said, you want me to put that down? You want me to stop walking around? You know, when I look at the step 10, here's a lazy man step 10. Rachel and I talked about this morning. I like to do step 10. My sponsor says I'm surfacey. I don't like deep waters. I don't like it to get uncomfortable. I don't like it to get too close to my truth. I don't want to unpack, uncover, discover, discard things that I'm carrying around that are moving and shaping and spilling out onto you. I like to keep it real surfacey. And so, I can say, Lulu, that was selfish of me. I apologize, and I don't know where that came from. And I want to leave step 10 right there. I want to say, Jackie, that was a fear response, man. I don't know. That was crazy. But I don't want to go back and do the work. What are you afraid of, Amy? And my first answer is, I'm afraid of my ego being da-da-da. My sponsor does this fun thing where she goes, why? 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 I don't know. Why? Wonder what you think about that. Wonder what would happen if that happened. Wonder dive, right? That old TV show where the submarine's going down, down, down. That's where I don't want to go. That's where I don't want to visit. I like a spot check inventory. Like I'm checking myself. You're okay. Little selfish. You'll be fine. Let's go. And I love to justify my, I'm irritable, but, who wouldn't be? Did you see what they did? Did you hear what they said? I don't even have to give any thought to that. Universally, we would all be irritated by that idiot. And I just accept that one and I move on. But I don't know that these little holes, right? These little dents in the armor, these little places of weakness. Alcohol is a subtle foe. My sponsor likes the word insidious, appearing harmless. Appearing harmless. Lurking. I think somebody used the definition of that, with intent to do great harm. Step 10 protects me from that. Step 10 is the place where I get to shore up the weaker places and add structure and get down in the basement and pull out the stuff from under the stairs, right? And I get to release it. And in step 10, I'm always asked, how free do you want to be? Is it okay to be irritated? I love to be right. My dad asked one time, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I thought, what a dumb question. That's ridiculous. Being right makes me happy. I had no idea that through the power of this work and hanging out with you and the spiritual connection that there would be a shift. That slowly over time, there would be a change. And the little girl that loved being right wouldn't care to be right anymore. That's more than 3 degrees, folks. That's a big deal. Right? That's the thing that happens in Alcoholics Anonymous. So this not fighting anyone or anything, that's a scary place because I fight everyone and everything. The sanity will have returned in relation to the drink. You know, in this part of the book it tells us that I will recoil like from a hot flame. When all my life I've touched the stove saying, this time I won't get burnt. And here's how. But now in step 10, I don't do that. I'm no longer under the delusion that I won't get burnt. In fact, I not only don't touch the flame, I recoil from the flame. Something's happened. Something's happened. The shift, the magic. Here we go. The power of these steps, the power of your love, the power of this program. Something's happening. And I get to see it in 10. It's the fruits of my labor. Let's stop here. But wait, there's more. And it gives me this thing that it says, you know, you can do that. You get to do that as long as you stay in fit spiritual condition. I don't know how to be in fit spiritual condition. You know, I don't know the rules. I'm just learning. I don't know the language. But we're going to, you know, Bill's thought of that. God's thought of that. And we've got these things outlined in 11 and 12 that are going to help us get there. They're going to help us exercise these spiritual muscles so that we can continue, so that we can stay in this place of neutrality, so that I can never fall back, you know, the honesty and the 100% work of step 1. I get to keep visiting because we're forgetful. As far as good looking and funny as we are some forgetful folks. We will forget the pain and misery of a week or a month ago. And let me do a few big book workshops. Let me sponsor a few women. Let me move myself here instead of shoulder to shoulder with you. Ooh, I'm in trouble. See, I'm a drunk. I'm Amy Spain Duncan, alcoholic. That's who I am. No matter where I'm at or where I'm sitting, that is a truth about me. And the insidious nature of alcoholism is it says, probably not anymore. It's been a while. You're okay. You are right. They are dumb. And Lord, what do you mean mop the floor? You know, my home group doesn't care that I'm at State Line. They didn't even ask. They don't care about it. They want to know that on Thursday I will be there to put away the chairs. That's my job and one of the most important jobs I'll do in Alcoholics Anonymous. They want to know if Wednesday I've got a speaker lined up to go into that detox center. Because that's the stuff that matters. My girls want to know on Thursdays, are we still meeting at my house? Even if me and Rachel aren't there. And I say, yeah, the door is unlocked. Go in. Take the new girls through the book. Do what we do. It's easy to rest on our spiritual program of action because I'm tired. I'm exhausted, but I got to keep going. I'm in a marathon. We're headed for trouble if we do for alcohol as a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. Every day is a day that we must carry the vision of God's will into our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. See, when I leave the house in the morning, that's not always my thought. I'm not going out as a servant. Steve told me this weekend he likes to serve God as in an advisory position. And I thought, Steve and I want the same job. We're bidding for the same job, right? What is it to fit myself for service? What is it to be right sized? What is it to get so small so that God can be so big? So when I leave the house in the morning, when I'm running around all day, what happens to me is that I say, I have a list of things that Amy needs to get done today. And I have a list of things, that meetings where Amy has an agenda, and I have a planned and desired outcome for all of those things. And then I like to backdoor it and tell God, this will help all of us. Just give me my way. And this is how it's going to help everyone, God, when Amy gets her way. And this is my truth. And I've got to make this phone call, and I got to answer that text, and I need to do this, and and I leave the house with this agenda and this mission and these things. I'm busy. We get busy in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm busy, and I've got my assignment, and I never checked with the boss. And I'll have a day when I head out like that, because my God loves me enough to go, stop, traffic. Stop. Accident on 65. Stop. Right? You go to the hospital. Go over here. Stop, you idiot. Stop. God's yelling that at me. And I'm like, I got to get out of here and go over here because I need to get over there because I got to do this and I'm rushing. And I ignore all the signs that say stop. I'm pushing them out of the way. I'm jumping over hurdles because I've got this agenda and I've got this thing, and I'll have a day. But if I can do the truth of 10, and I can move before I ever leave the house, Amy's agenda, let me just set that down. What would you have me do? Where would you have me be? Who would you have me help? And then I leave the house. I have a very different day. I have a very different day. It's magical. It's otherworldly. It exists. The lights turn green, and the people are smiling, and I move with Ian. There's no sense of rush and nervousness and tightness and anxiety. That coil that begins to curl up in me as I fight for my way and my plans and my designs and what I know. And because I work for God, I'm God's assistant. I'm here to get these things done, don't you know? And the coil gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Amy's in trouble. Amy's in trouble because I'm trying to run the show. On step 10, is that true? When I leave the house, am I a servant, or am I the advisory committee, the chairman of the advisory committee? God didn't ask me to be his assistant. He didn't even invite me on the project. Right-sized. How can I serve? Thy will, not mine, be done. And what if his will doesn't align with my will? What if I don't like the direction things are going? Does this program that saved my life, does it work then? Do I still believe you? See, I've hung my hat on you guys. I told Tim one time, you better not be lying to me, old man. I'm all in on this deal. The gift of desperation. Thank God that there's members who say it works, Amy, even when it doesn't look like it's working. Even when you're scared, even when you're frightened, even when the certain trials and tribulations of life. My feet are trained. And so I persist, and I just keep going through this thing. I do like this point. I don't argue in Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not smart enough to argue schematics with you. And it's boring and dull, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't hold my attention, so I can't do that. We can argue a lot of things with the schematics of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not real good at. But I do like, we talk so much about suggestions, and there are suggestions, and these suggested 12 steps. And we have a friend in Louisville that likes to point out that the end of step 10 says, if we have carefully followed direction. the direction of my sponsor, the direction in this book. Have I done what the book says to do? The book says write, I write. The book says ask, I ask. The book says pray, I pray. Have I followed the directions of this book? And that's important because I have to follow directions. Do I have to do them perfectly? Not at all. Not at all. One of my favorite things in Alcoholics Anonymous is a prayer by Thomas Merton. And if you're a girl like me or a guy like me and you're just winging it out here, man, hope this is right. Grateful to be here. Yeah. And this all seems so serious and heavy, and they're smart people, and they do it right, and they speak eloquently, and they know the schematics, and they can break it down, and you think, I can't do what they do. Thomas Merton wrote a prayer for us, and I won't read it, but I'll paraphrase it. He says, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know that if I think I'm pleasing you, that means I'm really doing it. But I believe that the desire to please you pleases you. And I hang my hat on that. I hang my hat on the gift of desperation and the earnest desire to be in alignment with this thing of love, the beauty, the magic, the powerful manifestation of Alcoholics Anonymous in each of our lives. I value it, I honor it, I hold it dear, and I hope that that desire to always exalt that, respect that, and honor that gets me a step closer and allows me to stay with you. Because without you, I'm dead. And I'm not confused about that today. Step 10 is a thing where I do it really well and then I don't do it because I rest on my laurels and I'm tired and I don't want to get into it. And there are schematics to Step 10 where we can look, right? But I think for me, the takeaway for where I'm at now, and the 12 and 12, they talk about the spot check inventory, the written inventory. Some of our members do a yearly inventory. There's so many ways to do this, man. It's the spirit of Step 10 for me because that's how my brain operates. And I've done the written. I did a written inventory. I thought I'd beef up, so I did one on the plane so I could tell you I did it. I didn't do sex. I did resentments and fears, and I stopped because I don't want to do sex. But but if I don't drink, there's still time. If I stay sober, there's still time. And I'll get to that. And like so many of us, it's not unusual for us to do the work till the fire goes out, until the pain stops. That's the majority of us. Most of us. That's human nature. I don't know that alcoholics hold the corner on the market on that one. But I will do it till it feels better, and then I stop doing that. But that's everything my friend Johnny says, everything I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous has a shelf life of about 48 hours. So I come here and I'm like, oh yeah, what Jimmy said, I need to do that. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for 3 days. And then I'm going to forget about it. And then I'm going to have to get back to a meeting. I have to get to my home group. I've got to listen to Bob's tape. And I go, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be doing that. And I go back and I do that. And none of us do this perfectly, but we do it with joy and we do it with humility and we do it with love of service. We do it with the gift of desperation because without you, I'm dead. And I don't want to die today. That's the miracle of Alcoholics Anonymous. The actions we take in this program are imperative to our success. To continue. When we don't continue, we die. We fade out. We lose steam. We walk backwards to the cliff, like Don was saying. I've got to do this, and I'll tell you some of the reasons I do that. I told you about Step 9 and the kids asking me to keep doing this, and my sponsor saying, did they say for how long? I didn't come back to cute kids who were happy to see Mama. I came back to teenagers who had a lot of justified anger and resentment and blame for me and the way I had destroyed their lives. And I ended up with my youngest daughter in therapy because she said, at least you should pay for the therapy. And I said, you're probably right. So I took her to therapy. She's my kid. She's defiant. She's a bully. She rolls her neck. She is aggressive. She's threatening. She scared us all a little bit. And the therapist said, do you worry, Grace, about your mom relapsing? And Grace looked at her like she had 7 heads, the way teenagers look at adults. And she said, my mom won't relapse. And this therapist gave her the statistics, the devastating statistics. And my daughter said, my mom won't relapse. You don't see what she does. My daughter was not listening to my words. Our behaviors will convince them more than our words. My daughter was watching my feet. She knew that when the dining room door is closed, there's a fifth step, don't come in. She knows at 7 o'clock or 6:30 I'm leaving because I need to drive to 6 points in town to get to the 8 o'clock meeting with the get in the car women. She knows that when the phone rings, I'm going to look. I may not answer, but then she's watching what I do. My daughter came to rely on my sobriety and trust you because you don't see what my mom does. You know, if you're struggling with step 10, if you're exhausted, I get it. How free do you want to be? How long do you want to stay here? See, the gift of desperation is still on me. I was sufficiently horrified by my own alcoholism, and I haven't forgotten that. And so that creates in me a willingness to continue to do this work. The other side of it is it's not punitive. I see women like Laura, like Claire, like Lulu, like I see my friends, and you look happy. I want to be happy. So I'm going to do what you do. Thank you.